So starting shoulder width apart, we're going to start with the eyes closed, and we're going to start with the focus on the lower dantian, lower energy center. So the focus when we're starting with the hands, it's not as important all the time, but it's important at least in the initial stages. We're going to start male bodies starting with the right thumb on the inside of the palm. Female bodies would be opposite, and we're going to be focusing just on that lower sacral with the eyes closed. And we're just simply going to come into a place of witnessing, observing. And from here, there's just a simple observance of the naturalness of the breath. We don't need to control the breath, we're just watching. In through the nose, out through the nose. And from here, the attention can move to the base of the feet, where we'll make sure the weight is on the outside of the feet, so the feet aren't collapsing in any way. Knees are slightly bent. Pelvic muscle is released, releasing any tension in lower back, relaxing in the shoulders, just finding that real comfortable posture of rest from the standing position. From here, we'll bring the attention right into the center of the chest and the heart, towards the back of the spine, where you can begin to slowly breathe into the center of the chest, towards the back of the spine, and then exhaling out through the entirety of the body, and then circulating that back into the center of the chest. And with every breath, feel a natural relaxation move through the body, where any areas of tension you feel the breath and just this simple place of observance start to neutralize. And from here, we're going to continue this breath pattern. We're going to slowly open the hands, and the hands are going to come all the way out to the sides. And from here, we're going to start on the exhale, move the hands forward. We're going to inhale. Hands are coming all the way back and opening the palms towards the sky. And then as you exhale, it's like you're building kind of this big ball in front of you. You can really slow the breath down when we're inhaling, as you're pulling the energy in towards the center of the chest and the heart. And as you're exhaling, that breath and that energy is moving throughout the entirety of the body. Remembering a slight bend in the knees, just relaxing into the hip bones, the pelvic floor. Speed that up a little bit, making it a bit more rhythmic, really pulling it back, opening up, exhaling, coming forward. Just a few more here. Feel naturally complete, the hands can just slowly move back down in front of you, and here palms are just going to be facing up, opening the shoulders, just relaxing in, just feeling in just that initial breath pattern, how the body's feeling, the subtleties in which you can tune to here. Now we're going to bring the arms back up, and we're going to stretch them out, fingers pointed nice and wide, and we're going to stretch as far as we can. Both fingertips going as wide as possible. Both arms stretching in opposite directions and slowly relaxing. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go up high above the head, stretching as high as you can there. And then coming down, here the palms are going to be facing the floor. We're going to push down. This just opens up the nadi channels, meridian channels. So one more time, we're going to go nice and wide. And then nice and high. And then pushing down. And so here we're going to transition to an alternating one hand down, one hand up kind of stretch like that. So starting with the right, whatever you want really, but the right, for this purpose, if you have the right hand down, left hand facing up, we're going to start moving the left palm up towards the ceiling, and we're going to rotate. Both palms are going to be one facing up, that's the left hand, right hand's facing down. So it takes a little bit to get this. Then we're going to rotate, palms are going to face each other. You can touch the fingertips if you like, and then we're rotating, same thing. So both fingertips, once they're at the top and the bottom, they're facing the opposite, away from the body. And you're stretching nice and long. Both fingertips here. Now, doing this in nature is always recommended at times, as you can pull in the currents of the earth and the sky, the sun, the universal source. And we'll do this one more time on each side. bringing that back down to center. And then from here, we're going to start doing some rotations. We're just going to start waving the hands and the arms side to side. The front arm is just touching in the abdomen. Back arm is touching lower back. We're not going to do this for long, as we're going to move up towards the main meridian point. So the inside of the thumb is hitting on the inside of the shoulder on the front arm, and the back arm is hitting inside of the thumb. I guess it's the outside. Outside of the thumb on the outside of the lower back. And you really want to get loose here, so there's no force. And you'll find that the arms naturally kind of want to spin and hit these points. Swaying in the knees, nice and loose. And we'll slow that down a little bit. Arms may not want to make it all the way up anymore, so you can just slowly rotate them around the body. We're going to slowly come back to that middle posture, palms facing up. And right away, we're going to begin to inhale up to the center of the forehead and exhale. We're also doing a rotation side to side. So palms facing up on the inhale all the way to the center of the brain as we turn to one side, and then exhale as we come back. Now you can get into your own kind of rhythm here. You can slow down a little bit, and you don't have to have the breath and the hands moving on the exact turn. You can kind of just feel into what feels most natural. But the key here is we're inhaling, we're bringing the energy up through the feet, through the hands, up through the spine, above the head, and as we exhale, that energy is coming down through the body, through the central channel of the spine, down through the feet. See if you can really zone in on the breath and feel that cultivation of power through the breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Just a few more each side here. Slowing it down just a little bit. And from here, we're going to move into a bit of a figure eight. So the back hand is going to be palms facing up, front hand palm facing down, but you're going to interchange those as you do a bit of a figure eight from side to side. So the breath would naturally move on an inhale as we come back, and an exhale as we come back forward. Inhale as you come back, crossing center. Exhale as you come forward. You can get a bit wider in the knees even a little bit, and you can get a little bit more kind of ecstatic. We can focus our attention in more deeply in the breath. Really feel the power of the inhale as you breathe in through the hands, through the whole body. In a sense, you're breathing through the hands and through the feet, cultivating the energy around you. And as you exhale, you're circulating that through the body, up through the spine, around the head. Pick up the pace a little bit and even get a bit more fluid. If you want to move into the shoulders, you want to go higher on that figure eight and come down lower. This is actually a beautiful practice to do not only in nature, maybe in the forest, but also in the water, in a stream or a lake or a bigger river, of course the ocean. A few more like this. We're going to slow it down just a little bit. And for those that are more experienced with this, there's an invitation if you'd like to kind of explore this as you feel, as your body is asking you to. Slow down, coming back to center just a little bit. And from here, we're going to transition to another movement. Inside palm and arm is coming right above the eyes. Bottom palm, palms facing up. So we're turning over to one side. We're inhaling, switching the hands. Other hand is coming in front of the third eye. Bottom hand, palm facing down, is at the lower energy center. And we're dragging that hand across. So the front hand is, in a sense, is dragging the view and the whole torso. And then we're switching. Obviously, eyes open or eyes closed are both welcome. Sometimes with the eyes closed, you can really tune into the subtleties of the breath and the subtleties of energy moving through the body. This is how we come into ultimate health and vitality and immunity, is if we move the energy that is stuck in any area of the body. Just getting it moving is enough. Again, you can get deeper into the knees here if you like. Get a bit lower in that rotation. A bit more fluid. Just a few more here. We can slow it down a little bit. And on this next one, if you feel complete, I mean, you can continue if you like a little bit, but we're going to transition into a space where we're inhaling from that lower point to the center of the heart, and on the end, we're exhaling over the knee on that side. And then we're inhaling, cultivating back up, and then exhaling, palms forward from the heart. So inhaling from that lower energy center, exhaling over the knee in that heart center. Now, there is a way to cultivate more power. You can actually kind of flex the arms, flex the muscles, flex the body, even as you're exhaling forward, where there's a bit more of a tension, if you will. But you can play with that however you feel. See if we can slow that down about 50%. On each side. If you feel called to come into a place of silence and stillness, that's welcomed. And on this last one, we're going to come right back up into the center, exhaling the hands down, and just come into stillness for a moment, simply to tune in. Through this subtle breath, we're balancing the body, balancing the elements, balancing everything that's present here. You can come into the heart and always connect to a place of appreciation and gratitude for this body, for the elements that make up this body. And whether or not we're outside or not, we're always connected to this nature. We can simply visualize, set our intention, connect to the earth, the sun, the breath, the water. Much of this energy comes in and cultivates at the lower center, and we're going to go into this here, where we're going to inhale at the lower center now, kind of like we did at the beginning, but this is going to be very much almost like you're creating like a energy ball. So you're inhaling, opening up at that lower sacral, and exhaling. At a certain point, the energies in your hands are open, and you'll be able to feel this energy much more subtly. Dragon Ball Z isn't so much a fantasy tale. Inhaling as you cultivate open, exhale as you release forward. And you can play with the speed and also the size of how far your hands are going back. When you're coming in on the exhale, kind of slight bend in the knees, you can really sink in here. more here. Now here we're going to circulate, so we're going to move into this movement here. We're going to inhale. Outside of the palms are going to touch each other, and we're going to come up all the way, exhale, and coming all the way down. Same thing with that slight bend of the knees. So we're inhaling, outside of the palms and the fingertips are touching each other, and exhale all the way. Nice and wide here, all the way up. Just a few more. Really want to release any tension in the pelvic muscle, the PC muscle, the base of the spine. Now here, we're going to change it up a bit. We're going to inhale, palms facing up to the center of the chest. Exhale, palms forward. And then we're going to inhale down all the way up. And hands are going to come really close, but they're not going to touch all the way down. Inhale, palms facing up, center of the chest and the heart. Exhale, palms forward. And then inhale down and all the way up. And coming down. Inhale up. Just a few more here. And as you feel a sense of completion here, you can come back to just a subtle place of rest. Again, that's always welcome at any point. Now here, just a very subtle motion. We're going to inhale, open the palms, open the chest, tilt the head back. And then exhale, just come forward just a little bit. We're not rounding the shoulders too much, but just as an exercise to really open up the heart. And also a place to really tune into the breath. Remember, the breath is not just coming in through the nose. Of course, physically it is, but in a sense, it's also coming through physically through the skin. And on an energetic level, the breath is non-localized, which means it can come through and move into any area of the body. You can breathe through specifically the feet and the hands. Just a few more here. And And as we feel complete, we're going to bring the feet together. We're going to bring one foot in front of the other. We can start, if you like, with the left, but really whatever you like. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and we're just going to be rocking forward and back onto the toes, or flat foot, and then onto the back foot. When we come into the back foot, the front foot can lift up. Wish you could see my feet, but it's all good. And then from here, we're going to work the opening of the heart once again. So we're going to really create a rhythm with this. Inhaling, hands are coming back. Exhale, we're stepping forward, and we're releasing through the heart. You can really make this more rhythmic, where you can feel into the spine. And we can speed this up a little bit as well. Shoulders get tired, hands can come lower. We're doing the same motion just on the lower sacral. But if not, you can continue with the heart really open up wide. You can get into a bit of more of a rhythm with it and get into different angles. Next one, we're going to step forward and we're going to move into the same thing on the opposite side. Again, if the arms are tired, you can come a bit lower and just start there. Just a few more here, and whenever you feel complete, you can come back to original posture. Original posture, feet just a bit wider than the shoulders. And again, we could just come into a receptive mode, palms facing open. This is a beautiful exercise just simply to do with the sun, or if you're facing a big body of water, where you're being open and receptive. So you're in a space where you can cultivate, you can bring in the energy, communicate with the element. Of course, this is how we become receptive to people as well. If we're closed off in our body language, naturally there's a limit to the energy flow, but when we're open in our body language, we can naturally be more receptive because the energy centers are fixated more in that receptive intention. Now here, we'll see if we can start doing a bit of a figure eight with the knees and shoulders. So you'll kind of like that first motion we did with the arms, but the arms won't be moving here yet. Just getting into a bit of a figure eight, and you can really explore this. You can get even a bit lower if you want. Again, this is a beautiful exercise to do with your feet in the water. Now we're going to add in the hands. We're going to be inhaling, palms facing up. One palm is going to be coming forward on the one side, and then we're inhaling, we're doing other side. So it's a bit of a quicker movement, but you can get it. We're inhaling, scooping that one hand up. Other hand is pushing forward, palms facing up. Or palms facing forward, sorry. And you can work the breath here where you cultivate that hand in, exhale, palm forward. Cultivate hand in, forward. Let's see if we can speed that up a little bit. Slow it down too a little bit. You can play with the speed. Slow this down even more. And we'll slowly come back to center. Your body may still keep that momentum of movement, which is fine. Hopefully the feet are a bit wider. We're going to widen them a little bit more. A few more movements to help kind of keep the circulation moving. So hopefully this doesn't hit the mic too much, but we're going to be using both hands here. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to inhale. We're going to come all the way up, palms to the ceiling, and then exhale coming down. Inhale, exhale. Change the direction you can. Other side, same thing. Slight bend in the knees when you come down, just making sure there's no overbearing tension anywhere. You guys can keep going. I'm going to stop just so the mic is not making too much noise here. Once you guys feel complete with that, we'll transition into this movement that I'm doing here. It's kind of like the first movement that we did, but the hands aren't touching the body. They're stretching up and down here. So we're kind of doing almost like one of the first movements we did. Back hand is moving behind lower back. Other hand is moving to the ceiling. Just a few of these, really. And we can slow it down a little bit. And as you feel any sense of completion here, we can again come back to center. And we're going to move the feet back together. Now the feet are actually going to come pretty close together, about shoulder width. And from here, generally male bodies would have right hand over left hand. Female bodies would have left hand over right. I'll let you choose. And palm facing up. We're going to start the hand that's on top. We're going to inhale. We're going to come and do a half moon all the way around, right to the center line. Exhale, coming down the spine. Release any tension, that pelvic PC muscle. That hand is going to come underneath the other hand, and we're going to inhale. And we're going to do the opposite hand. It's recommended to close the eyes with this exercise. It's a really beautiful one that can really be felt through the spine, especially if you're breathing through there. Inhaling, moving up the spine. the center of the forehead. Exhale, moving down the spine. And we'll just continue with this. Few more on each side. And then as you feel complete with these on both sides, we'll move into both hands at the same time. Coming to the center. Just continuing on your own pace here. And you may not need many to come to a place of simple balance. And whenever you do feel complete, our hands are going to come back to that original standing posture. Feet a little wide. And we can just simply feel, see what's present. Come back to the center of the chest and the heart. And see if you can simply move your attention into every cell in the body so you feel that sense of grounded presence and embodied experience with the body. You can feel into the fingertips, into the toes. As much as this is a meditative practice, this cultivation brings us right into the body so we can feel present with ourselves, feel healthy, feel vital, feel energized, and yet still remain in a sense of mindfulness and peace. So as you feel complete, you can move out of this posture. If you want to maybe take a seated posture, if you want to squat into your legs, that will be welcomed. Or stretch and move however you feel. You could also leave in the chat box or in the comments how you're feeling, how that experience has been for you. Maybe it's your first time, or at least first time with me. I'm not going to squat because I'm too far down. But I do want to just mention a few things about this practice. There will be some more videos coming out explaining some of the principles, though the majority of what we're getting into here is a recognition that meditation, well, Tai Chi in essence, in its definition, is the movement meditation of life. It's the movement of energy, the ebb and flow of energy within all of life continuously and consistently. And so when we're doing this meditative and movement practice, naturally we're coming to a recognition that everything that we do in our day-to-day experience can be this practice of meditation and this practice of cultivation and movement of energy. Because everything that we interact with is an interaction with energy. You know, whether it's a person, it's the elements, it's our situations in our day-to-day, our work, food, all kinds of things. So everything we do is an interaction of energy. So the movement of this practice where we're cultivating, we're cycling, and we're, in a sense, releasing, but that's a part of the alchemizing process where it's not necessary all the time to be releasing energies that are stuck. It's more so how do we turn the lead into gold in a certain sense. So any energy you may have felt, of anxiety or, some density or something, many times after doing this practice, that energy is lightened or it's more open. and the openness is coming from a place of transmuting that density into a higher form, which is really just a process of circulation. It's allowing for energy to move, and when it can move as it needs to, it actually can be very empowering. Like anger can be a very empowering feeling. When we're sad, we come into a place of compassion and gentleness, and then it moves us from that place. So all of the lower emotions we may feel have the potential to be moved into the higher experience if we're willing to, in a sense, be one with them and experience them and move them in a way that's not forceful. So everything we did today, as much as some things were faster, or we can even get more faster and more intensive, the subtle layer of gentleness is always present at the base. And so this is it. So blessings to each of you for being here with us. We have a number of other sessions this weekend. I want to take a look at the comments. I won't go yet. Let's just see how our friends are. Facebook and Zoom. Yeah, so that point, Kareen, on feeling energy is definitely an important one, because the topic of being able to tune to energy is only going to be realistic for someone who actually can feel it. If we just talk about energy but we can't feel it, we actually can't experience it, then it's kind of useless at that point, right? It's a certain pointer, and we can trust in the teaching or that book that we read that talks about energy, but without it actually being viscerally experienced, then it has to be for it to be brought into reality. So much of what you'll feel when we're moving through these movements is many times the energies in the chakras of the hands and the palms open up, and the palms are like the control centers of our life. Everything we interact with day to day is through the palms. So our energy is constantly transferring to everybody and everything that we interact with the palms, and that doesn't always need to be done with a physical touch, right? We can move energy without it. So that's basically what we're doing. All energy healing using the hands is coming from, in a sense, what's being activated through much of these experiences that we're going into. Yes, there are some recorded sessions on the YouTube channel. We have a couple more that are going to be coming up, and then these are going to be uploaded as well, so you guys can do them in different minute intervals, 15, 20 minute. This one's about 45, and there'll be more as well. So yeah, it's been great to have you guys. I'm just going to stop the screen share on the Zoom, but I'm still here. And then I just want to check how our Facebook friends are doing. Awesome. Let me know if it's your first time maybe doing something like this. That's always cool to know. Yeah. So, the common perspective here is that there is a feeling of energy, and you can really viscerally feel it. And that's really, in a sense, I wouldn't say the purpose of Tai Chi, but it's a certain element to it, because just like all energy healing comes by way of attention. So if anything we have to heal, we need to have attention of it, or awareness of it first, like a habit or something. Like if we don't have awareness of it, either something in the external world will bring awareness to it that will then shock us into that place of the clarity that this may no longer be resonant, or someone may force us to change or force us to see it, but that usually doesn't work. So the reality is we have to have awareness of everything that's happening in the body, and specifically when it comes to energy healing or energy movement, for us to have awareness of where these energies are stuck or how these energies can further flow. And it's not always about stuckness. It's also about how do we further expand the light, the blissfulness, the expansion, the ecstasy that we do have access to and we can experience by way of focusing upon it, right? Focusing upon the energy and allowing for it to build. And so, this is much what we're doing. We're using the hand motions, but at a certain point, you don't necessarily need all the hand motions and stuff, but it's always a great practice to incorporate it, because we're always going to be in a body. So no matter how enlightened you become, you're naturally always going to be in a body. So whether you're in a light body or a higher body, you're in a body. And so the the awareness of how we move energies in the body is extremely important, right? So I hope this is, clear for everyone. Awesome. All right. Well, this was wonderful. I adore each and every one of you. As we mentioned, there's a bunch of sessions we're doing this weekend. Everything's on donation basis as usual. So that's all in the links. I'll just make sure I link for the Facebook peeps where that is. And then at least for this weekend, this is what we're doing. Ongoing Tai Chi sessions. We do have some regularly doing them, and this will be. This has already been launched, and we'll be continuing this over time. So that's it for me. I will see you guys in a bit, and we'll connect soon. Deep love.